Hi, friends. How are you? Welcome to today's episode of Between Friends. Didn't think we would make it. Here we are in Texas in this sub-zero weather, right? Unlike anything we have ever seen in recent memory in Texas. And I have been blessed with power and running water all week. I live in North Texas and I'm about a quarter mile from a hospital. So I'm thinking that's why we didn't lose power at my home. But many people have. Everything you are seeing on the news is true. It is absolutely true. People are frozen in their homes and it is kind of a travesty, but I don't want to make this a political moment. I just want to have us all think about those who are really suffering this week and have lost, maybe loved ones and most certainly property. Pipes are bursting everywhere, and maybe when you hear about this on the news, you hear about, a pipe burst under the kitchen sink. Well, not always. Sometimes it's in, the second floor or in the attic, and the whole ceiling just caves in. Entire walls come down. So, keep everyone here in Texas in your prayers. They sure need it. They sure need it. So many of you joining in, and I know we're not the only ones where it's cold. It's cold all over the U.S., pretty much all over the U.S., except for maybe my Stitch and sister down there in South Florida. But I have other family that is north and east, and we're sending our weather their way, I understand. So that is, they have something to look forward to. But, fortunately, they're prepared. They all have the right clothes, and their homes are insulated probably a little bit better than here. And the pipes don't freeze and all of that. So anyway, we can't fix all of those problems for sure here, but we're here to gather and talk about applique today, which is, a bit of a respite from the weary news that we've all been hearing. So let's see. Yes, Francis says he just got water since Monday. I know. How about it? And our friends in Arkansas, I saw on the noon news today that they have 15 inches of snow in Arkansas, which is pretty rare, I would think. Anyway, so we are going to talk all about applique, and let's go ahead and take a look at that. So we're going to talk about how to turn any fabric into a fusible, how to get wrinkle-free and long-lasting applique. Now, isn't that our goal, right? When we go to all that trouble of applying machine embroidery onto an item with applique fabric, we most certainly want it to last a really long time. So that's our goal for today. And we want to make sure that we cover every stitch with, beautiful results. And on raw edge applique, we most certainly want to have a nice clean finish. So with that being said, we have, before we get into all that, we always kind of start out with the small town charm, and today is no different. I have a little bit of a setup here. I'm broadcasting from my home, so I don't have some of my helpers, although I do have one team member who's helping, Ted Roche. He's behind the scenes and in his place at home, and he has power and water also, which is a great thing. Okay, but this year we are celebrating small town charm, and in January, I created this really fun quilt shop that is available for you to download, still free on our website. So if you're a first-time viewer to our Between Friends episodes, you should jump over to our website and grab these designs. And when you stitch it out, post it on social media and use #DimeSewAlong. We love that. And then in February, it was all about the sweet shop, whether it was a bakery or a candy store. We saw many different renditions of it through February. It comes, both designs and all year will come in two sizes, 5x7 and also a 7x12. The 5x7 in February featured 3 hooping. So it was first story, second story, and then the awning is a separate hooping. As the awning is a separate hooping also in the 7x12. So it's an awful lot of fun. And if you aren't doing it, you should join in and do it. You should do it because people are really learning an awful lot and they're expanding their skills for machine embroidery. So right before I go live, I usually do a little bit of a search on social media to find what you've been stitching. And here we have a fine example of the Sweet Shop from Cherry Caraway. And she chose a really fun, vibrant fabric for her awning. She kept all in the same color family as the building fabric. Really awesome. Looks very nice. Well done, Sherry. And then we also have Liz Loudon Sweeney. Now she chose beautiful pinks, just super fun. 2 different prints, one for the awning that's kind of a swirl, and then a small floral print for the building itself. I think it's just lovely. She did a really great job on that. She didn't really add any different, personalization, like she didn't change the name, or, some people have little pets or, all kinds of things that they add outside of the Sweet Shop. But next week will be the March reveal. So it's always a secret until right here on Facebook Live. So next week at 1 o'clock, same time, I hope you'll join me and you will see the March reveal. So that'll be super fun. Let's see. And Judy Whitaker, you're a little bit behind with your Sweet Shop. Oh, you have to do it because your quilt shop sure was beautiful. So your fabric's in the dryer right now. Well, Judy, good for you. You have a dryer going. That's something we haven't really done all week here in Texas. We haven't wanted to use the power. We're just living with what's only been a week, for heaven's sakes. We have enough clean clothes. But anyway, good to know that we'll be able to get back to that soon. Okay, so as we talk about applique, let's talk about how that we have a brand new product, and you're the first to see it, which is our Fuse Me, and it's a fusible web, but it's pretty unique in the sense that it has a very delicate hand. So we're going to take a look at how to use it, why I love it, and how to get those applique professional results that that we also desire. So let's go ahead over to the overhead cam so you can take a look close up with me. So it comes, on a roll, and it has a protective paper. And I, ruined this piece, and not really ruined it, but I separated it so you could see just how delicate that is. Look, it's like air. It's so nice. I love that. So of course, when you apply it, you're going to place your fabric wrong side up and take the Fuse Me with not the smooth side is the protective paper, the rough side is the fusible web. And we're going to center that on our applique fabric. And then we're just going to fuse that in place. Now, one thing that's really nice about this, it takes just, maybe 3 to 5 seconds. You don't have to count to 10 or 15. It's pretty fast. And a household iron is the proper, high and dry will get you the results that you need. So we're going to let this cool for a moment, and I'll set that aside. But I want you to see a jelly roll strip that that I have begun to apply this fusible web to half of the strip. So I'm just going to peel that off. And isn't it fabulous how it just peels in one nice clean piece? I think that's one of my favorite things about it. So I thought I would just kind of roll this jelly roll. So now this is the fusible side, right? Ooh, let's keep that together. So I'm just going to roll that. And I think I have a little clip here somewhere. There we go. So you can see that soft, gentle roll. It's the same soft, gentle roll that you get without the fusible web. So it's just as delicate, just as smooth. The hand hasn't changed. It is lovely. You can see it's just so flexible. And that's what's so desirable, because you don't want to change the hand of the fabric when you add applique to it. In fact, many times people do select an applique design so that they don't have a lot of heavy stitches or complex fill. And so you see how easy that just peels right off. Oh, I love it. I love it. So I'll keep that together so I know that there's fusible on that side. So what are some of the things you can do with it? Well, most certainly applique, and we'll get to that in a moment. But sometimes people want to make a quilt sandwich and they don't like to pin and they don't like to use spray adhesive. Well, little scraps, little squares of Fuse Me work beautifully for that. So I would then just take my batting section, right, and place this wrong side down and fuse that in place. Now, I probably wouldn't go to the trouble of doing that on a small quilt sandwich like this because, it most likely in a monster hoop, it would just stay together anyway. But isn't that great? I mean, now that's all together and I don't have to worry about that separating when I'm quilting. So that's one good use for a fusible web. Another good use is it will adhere to any porous surface. Like, if you're like us in our house and we have some pretty boring note cards, right? Well, gee, we could jazz that up with just adding a piece of fabric covering the whole backside. You could make it just the front. I could also add a fused letter on here, a fabric or something, but a personal note written in here. Isn't that great? Like if you just came back from the Greek islands and you wanted to remember your with the Greek key. Well, there's a fun thought. Anyway, and here is a gift card that would accompany the gift that you made, right? So the same fabric that you made the bag out of, you most certainly could make a greeting card, and then this recipient would know how personalized and how personal this gift really is. That's truly from the heart. So that's a fun thing to do. Also, things that you can't sew or don't want to sew. So let's take a look. I have my pressing my station here, and I think I need to go this way for you. Everything's upside down. So here is some lace that I applied the fusible web to. Now, I don't know if you know this, but if you have scraps of the the fusible web, you most certainly can use those scraps. You just butt them up to each other, and then once fused, you have a long continuous piece. Now, here's my lace trim. And you can see that I have, it's not cut to shape, right? It's just cut, well, it's cut to shape, but not fussy cut around the lace. I guess you can see that has that kind of shield on there. So I'm going to place this on a jean jacket sleeve. And I'm just going to slide the sleeve over the totally tubular pressing station. And I'm going to place this with the lace side up, and I'm just keeping an eye on the edge of the lace. I want to make sure that that is aligned, in a parallel fashion with the top stitch seams. And then I would take a Teflon pressing sheet, and I actually trimmed mine down. I just, cut one into about a 3-inch strip so that I would always have a narrow one to use on my totally tubular press board. And then I'm just going to press this down. Now, this is lumpy, right? Because I have, lace here, and then I'm going to just adhere this all the way around. And then the best way to finish this off is to press it from the wrong side. And then that glue, that fusible web, will just dissolve right into the denim. It just will dissolve right into the denim, and it will not be visible. You won't see that shiny band of fusible web. I can show you on the other sleeve that's already completed. Now, if this wasn't a sleeve, maybe you would apply it. Well, because it's a sleeve and because I want to get it centered in this area, I need to visibly see where I've landed that. But normally for regular embroidery designs or applique, you would press from this side and then the glue would adhere out to the lace. So that's a fun thing to do for jean jackets that, you know, maybe the sleeves are too skinny and you can't get them around the bed of your sewing machine to sew on there. So let's take a look at some applique. I have some prepared for you. And we'll start first with taking a look at the placement guide. And this pink is the placement guide. When I stitch the tack down, you'll notice that the tack down is inside of the placement line. And that's a good thing because when we make our applique, if we want to pre-cut our applique, we actually use the placement line as the cut line so that we cut our applique a bit larger than our tack down. And that gives us something to catch on the stitching. Now over here, you can see I didn't use a fusible web. This is just standard applique that I did pre-cut the diamond, but when I placed it over the placement guide, it covered the space, but the foot kind of dragged it out of position. Here on this version, you can see that it fits better because I fused it after I laid it down. So I stitched the placement guide, placed my fabric over top, and then fused it to the fabric right in the hoop with that small iron. And then when I stitch the tack down, you can see it's going to capture everything. And then because it's a nice wide satin, it is a bit forgiving and it will cover up that little excess there and most certainly give good coverage to the area here that is close to the edge. Now, maybe you don't pre-cut and you do what I often do, you know, where I'm going to trim right in the hoop. So this is, you know, a bit trickier. You're going to take really sharp scissors and place that blade right next to the stitch line and just snip away. And I like to just turn my hoop. I find that's the best way to handle this. And I'm going to trim nice and close as I can. And repeat on all four sides. And then at that point, that's when I would iron it right in the hoop. Now, if you feel this is a little too wide, so I've taken my fingers underneath and I'm very gently pushing on that fabric to just push that up a little bit. I don't want to push the fabric out of the hoop, definitely not. And we want to kind of blow that away. I would probably have a lint roller there so that I could get all those little scrapes off. But then, and I want to remove my plastic shield. Whenever I'm working with applique, I keep my plastic shield underneath, and that's how I transport the hoop from the machine to the work area. But when I'm going to press it, most certainly want to get rid of that plastic and then just go ahead and press right in here and give that a nice firm press. And then when I take it back to the machine and it stitches the outline, that's going to be my result. So I love that. It's really a great way to get professional looking applique. Now, I also told you that raw edge applique, fusible web is a great application for raw edge applique because it's going to ensure that you don't have any fraying on the raw edge of your applique. You want to firmly secure that permanently, firmly and permanently secure it to the host fabric. So here's a quilt block from my Bridge Club stipple collection. I love this kind of collection. I haven't seen this in a while or played with it. So here's another example, and I thought I would just show you. Now, because of the way this design is digitized, you hoop the quilt sandwich and you stitch color one, which is all these beautiful feathers. That's color one. And then you take your large piece of applique fabric, a large square, and just place it right over the block. And the next thing it does is stitch all these details of the diamonds. Then I take it out of the hoop. Then I just trim. Now, when I trim in this fashion, I hold the fabric, applique the excess, and I'm slicing right next to that straight line stitch outline, which is normally a bean stitch because it's going to give a triple hold. And I just take my time. Now, these scissors are those Karen Buckley applique scissors. They have a serrated edge and a super fine tip. Now, I'll tell you, you have to be careful. They'll take your finger off if you're not careful. But if handled properly, they are an excellent tool for raw edge applique. So, so sweet. I could get right in there. I could even get in a little bit more if I wanted. And then finally, we take this last sliver off here, and that's it. And there's my raw edge applique. Now, this quilt block, I would press from the wrong side. I have it right here on my wool mat, and I'll just press. I'll just press that, and that will firmly and permanently secure that applique fabric to the host fabric. That's just awesome. Now, I don't ever have to worry about this fraying or separating from the host fabric. It's a great finish for any quilt block. Love that. Love that. And if it's a jacket or a handbag, you want to make sure that you're not going to have any fraying of those edges as you use it, like with normal wear and tear. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Donna Passerato, you wanted to know, is that quilt block a built-in on the Luminaire? No, this quilt block I created way before the Luminaire came out, and it's called Bridge Club. It's a collection from our Stipple collection, and the heart is also a part of that. And these designs, it's a whole quilt with 6 blocks, I believe, and borders, and it also it retails for $29.99. I think you can get that over on our website. So let's see, what other questions do we have? Let's see. Bernadette, you say good tips. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that you like that. Oh, and Sharon Berger, you are arriving late. Well, that's okay. You could always watch the rebroadcast, so definitely. If you miss anything, you most certainly can go back and do that. What was the free shipping code on Fuse Me? Let's find here. I can bring that back up and see where I have a lot of remotes going on here. So let me see if I can advance to where that slide is. I'll have to manually do that. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So over there, if we go over to PowerPoint, you'll see, this is a 15-inch by 10-yard roll of Fuse Me, and it's only $24.99. Boy, is that going to last you a long time. And if you compare that price to other fusibles that are out there, you'll be amazed at how affordable that really is. Yeah, and because for $24.99, that's a lot of fusible web. And what is so nice about this is that delicate hand and how lightweight it is. Remember when I separated that? I mean, gosh, I just love how delicate that is. It is just awesome. And, because it has the protective paper on it, you don't have to have a Teflon pressing sheet, when you are first applying it to the applique fabric. Now, you may need that later if you are, applying it to lace like I did on that jean jacket. But most certainly you can use it without. Okay, let's see. And here, if you like that Bridge Club collection, that's a typo, Bridge Creek. It's really Bridge Club. So, but hey, we're all working at home. And do we sell the scissors? We do sell those scissors. They're also on our website, and they are Karen Buckley's applique scissors, I believe. And we have a great price on them right now too. Yes. And the free shipping applies for a week. Yes, sir. And let's see, Carolyn, great for cutting applique shapes on the Scan and Cut. Absolutely. It is great for this Fuse Me. When you apply that to fabric and then use your Scan and Cut or Cricut to cut your appliques, to pre-cut them, it works out beautifully, definitely. Okay, let's see. Well, I don't really have any other tips to share with you today. I want to make sure I hit with all of my points that I wanted to make. But always pressing from the wrong side. I know many people, they love to press from the wrong side to secure their applique. They don't want to flatten their beautiful embroidery or quilting, and I agree with that. Is the Fuse Me soft when washed? Absolutely. It is just as fluid, and it washes beautifully, and it's permanently adhered. And Bernadette, you want to know if we sell the iron? We do not sell that iron. It's a cute little thing, though, isn't it? It's made by Dritz, and so you can probably get that in other places. Yeah. Joanne Banco, I hope many of you, I don't know if you missed it last week, Joanne Banco was my guest. We had a lot of fun talking all about embroidery. She had her beautiful samples, and she, gave some real sneak peeks at behind the scenes at It's So Easy television show. So if you missed that, you most certainly can go back and watch that broadcast. Thanks for watching again today, Joanne. Really nice to see you. Yeah. And so next week, when we are back next week, we're going to be revealing the March Small Town Charm, which is going to be super fun. Can't wait to do that. Can't tell you what it is. I know many of you have been guessing. I see some comments out there online. So international shipping, normal, regular prices, regular shipping charges apply for international shipping, but you can get we had someone here comment as to who sells our product in Europe, and that is Creatches's. Here we go, Isabel Briand. She put that up there, so you can do a Google search in Europe for Isabel, and you can get a lot of our product for there. And she has Fuse Me on the way. She may not have it yet, but she does. Let's see. Seth Sweets and Stitches wants a bookstore. Yeah. And when are we coming back to Las Vegas? Good. I don't know. I'd love to our good friends at Quiltique. I wish. You're not finding Fuse Me on the website? Yeah, it's on the website. I saw it there this morning for sure. Hey, hi, Gaylin. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see you here. Say hello to all your family. I hope you're safe. Gaylin is a former co-worker here in Texas, so I hope she's okay. It's a good sign, I think, if you're on Facebook, right? Yeah. All right. So thanks everybody for joining me today. That was kind of a quick and short show, but we're grateful to be able to connect with you this week. It's been a challenging week here in Texas. And if you're waiting for product, I can tell you that our offices have been closed. We didn't have power or internet. And frankly, you couldn't get to the office for a while, but it's stalling now. And we have power today, and we have internet in the office today, and we are starting to ship. So, but of course, UPS actually isn't really picking up. Either has the United States Postal Service. So when you hear on the news or you read in the newspaper, if anybody still does that, or online, that we are in a deep freeze in Texas, they're not kidding and they're not exaggerating. Everything is at a standstill. But we thaw out tomorrow. So, whew, and by Monday, we're going to be in the 60s. So this will all be behind us. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Wendy Hansen wanted to know, is your software just downloadable? Our software is downloadable. Pretty much we're just going all download now, if that's really what your question is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Christy Gray. Yep, it is. Fuse Me is one word. One word. Yep. Fuse Me with a capital M. Yep. Like, just super fun. Like, excuse me. Right? Yeah. Okay. So thank you, everyone. And we'll see you here next week for the March review.